Welcome, friends, to Game 2 of The Broken Door, the solo campaign for Rain and Hail from Snarling Badger that was released in this year's annual copy of Snarl. Today we're going to be playing The Darkness Strikes Back. So we have traveled beyond the Library of Givexa in pursuit of the portal that will lead us to Earth. However, in this blasted landscape, we have come across a former acquaintance who is most certainly now an enemy. In this forest, we have a total of 12 slaughter fiends, as well as our former acquaintance, the Executioner Demon. We have 5 rounds to eliminate this threat and move on to the next stage of our journey. If we fail, we will not only have to start over, we will lose the Oculus Spear, which would be a tremendous blow. Fortunately for us, not all of the Slaughter Fiends will go every turn. They will activate on 12, 8, and 4. 2 of them will go each time that happens. The Executioner will go on 8 with the 2 Slaughter Fiends that are also going to be going on 8. We have 3 actual pieces of terrain on the board, and then we have some filler just to make it look a little bit nicer. So we've got an Empowered Shrine to the right. We have a Soul-Infused Forest to the north that one group of Slaughter Fiends is inside of. And we have a Crumbling Ruins to the left. So don't really want to walk on that, but might be worth it to try to bait some of them onto it to see if something bad happens to them. We're going to start the game off like we always do by rolling initiative. To determine that initiative, we're going to roll a d12 for every model in the Cabal. Like so. And because I have a 12, and the bad guys, or the worst guys, activate on 12s, that's a roll-off. They are the red dice. They will activate first. It's always the closest demons that will activate first, and that's going to be 2 of these Slaughter Fiends on the front line, going to move forward their full movement. It comes to me at 12, and I'm going to put myself into a somewhat precarious position. But I'm going to go with Kenshin, and charging then into that front Slaughter Fiend. Combat in the game is pretty simple. You roll d6s equal to your combat stat. If you are higher than them, it's a 2-up. If you're the same as them, it's a 3-up. If you're lower than them, it's a 4-up. I am higher than them, so I'm looking for 2-ups. I am charging as my combat style, which lets me move into engagement with them and gives me +1 to my combat score. Looking for 2 or better. As a Spine Demon, because I charged, I can re-roll one of those. Hit. We have a conversion. After I swing, they get to try to block. So they get to roll their combat dice, looking for 6s. Getting none. So going to take 7 damage, 8 damage on that wallop. And then we place the dice beside the model that activated. I'm going to go again at 9. I'm going to try to be a little bit clever here. So Baku, my Corpulent Demon, he has +3 movement the first time he activates in the game to his first activation. So he's got a 7-inch movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use him to try to pull these other mobs where I want them to be. Also, Baku as a Corpulent Demon is an absolute tank. So I'm going to put him right up there beside the shrine, which puts him closer to the Executioner, who will activate next, which will then put the Executioner in a better spot for me when I get to one of my heavy hitters. And now on 8, our friend the Executioner, our former friend the Executioner rather, will make his presence known. Swinging into me with a whopping combat 8. He definitely has more combat than me, so he needed 2s. Still managed to miss several. Baku was only combat 4. He does manage to block 1, he will take 4 damage. Our Slaughter Fiend activations will be from the front lines of each of the 2 sides. Next for me is going to be Okina, my first Slaughter Fiend. Making a charge. Combat 7, 8 on the charge, looking for 2s. All hit. Combat 6, 6 is to block. Jeez Louise, block 3 of them. Take 5. Next is me again on 7, where I'm going to charge my Tentacle Beast Homori into that mix so that I'm putting his debuff out onto the crowd. Combat 6, 7 on the charge. Looking for 2s. Because Homori is a Tentacle Beast, it drops the combat of all enemy models within an inch of him by 1, so 5 for their defense, looking for 6s. No 6s. 6 damage. Now, unlike those mechanized puppet monsters in our last battle, these folks will give out soul dice. And when you kill a demon, you get to roll a d6. And then you can later swap that number out for something else in a roll. It can also be used to increase your movement by the face value of the dice. So why not? I'm going to use it right now. I'm going to burn it to give 3 movement to Kirito, my other Slaughter Fiend, so that he can charge that demon that's right at the stairs. He's a bit chunkier, so I'd rather have him up in the mix than Kenshin. Kirito is combat 7, 8 on the charge. Looking for 2s. His friend is unfortunately not close enough to be affected by Homori's debuff. Blocks 1. That Slaughter Fiend will take 6, and our remaining demon, or remaining 2 demons to activate this round, will be the 2 on the left in that group because they're now much closer to Kirito. Next up for me will be Emma O, who is going to charge in on that Executioner demon. Emma is coming into this on the charge at combat 12. 9 hits to the Executioner, who has combat 8, looking for 6s. No 6s. Shoko will then use his Essence of the Void instead of moving to teleport anywhere on the board within 12 inches of himself. We're going to teleport to right there, and we're going to use Focused Combat. Now, because Emma ran in there and smacked the absolute dog snot out of him, I get to reroll my misses because he has 4 or less health remaining. It is not likely that this demon survives this blow, but it is possible, so we'll roll it. Oh man, I thought a lot of those 5s were 6s. He blocks 2 of them. That's still going to be enough to take him out. That will also increase his justice meter by 1, which allows him to replace some dice, I think on his defense roll. Yes, it is the defense roll. It allows me to increase 1 dice by the amount of his justice meter. That's going to be the end of turn 1. Going to turn 2, sorting out some initiative. As you saw, I have no 12, so these Slaughter Fiends are going to go first. And it's absolutely going to start with these 2 that are already in combat. So we're going to go from left to right, starting with the one that is attacking Okina, and then the one that is attacking Homori. Now, the one that is attacking Okina is in range of the debuff from Homori, and the other one's attacking Kirito, not Homori. I got that wrong. First Slaughter Fiend looking for 4s. Getting quite a few. Me looking for 6s. Getting none, so 4 damage. Now for our other friend attacking Kirito, the other Slaughter Fiend, who is not affected by Homori's debuff. But my defense is just as ineffective. I'm going to start with Okina because I also would like to be able to move and charge with Homori, but I can't do that unless I can kill this demon. Using focused combat as my combat stance, which means that as a Slaughter Fiend, I'm a paragon of slaughter. So I get 2 dice instead of the normal 1 for my attack. 5 dice combat to block. Blocks none, which is enough to kill it. Soul dice for killing a guy. We also got a soul dice for killing the Executioner that I forgot to roll. Both of them 1s. That's fitting. I've decided against using Homori right now. Instead, I'm going to charge with MO. Combat 12. We could potentially one-shot this dude. So if he makes none of his saves, he's just dead outright. Awesome. I get a soul dice. 5 is much better than the last 2. Next, we're going to have some of these Slaughter Fiends over here get into the mix because they are closest. So we're going to go left to right. There, moves. I'm actually going to swing the one on the right first because if he does somehow manage to kill Kirito, it will change the target of the second one. And the second one will still have a target, basically, that it can get to. So we're going to go combat 6 for this one. He's not in the range of the debuff. Gets 2 hits. Against combat 7. Gets in 2 hits. Second one will run it back. Swings better. It's not going to be enough to kill me even if I fail all the rolls, but I'm not going to be happy. I block 1 of them. Take 3. And at this point, I'm going to have a lot of activations before they get any activations, which is awesome. We're going to start that off with Kenshin, who's outside of an inch so he can charge. Combat 7 goes to 8 on the charge. I can reroll 3 on account of being a spine demon. Convert 2. Combat 6 to block. I'm going to use one of those 1s that I have for Fate Dice to turn that 6 into a 1. I am going to get a Soul Dice. 4. Homori. Going to put a focused combat into the Slaughter Fiend right beside him in the bushes. Combat 7 on a focused attack. Against combat 5 to block. Blocks none. Shoko will be next for me, and he's going to charge that Slaughter Fiend to his west. Alright, combat 9 on the charge. Looking for 2s. Okay, that's a good roll. Now that 6 will cause the Thunder Hammer that he got as a hand-me-down from Emma when she obtained the Oculus Spear will deal 2 damage to all enemies within 3. Actually, stop. No, I'm not going to use that Fate Dice right there because I don't need it. Because I'm a greater Executioner Demon and I rolled at least 3 natural 6s. That doubles the damage of the attack. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8, 16 damage, and he blocks 1. He's incredibly dead. My justice will go up by 1. Oh, nice. So our final 2 Slaughter Fiend enemies of the round will be 2 from this pack in the force. It'll be these front 2. One will be coming towards Okina. One will be going towards Shoko. Last activation of the round will be Baku, who I'm going to burn that 5 that I had as a Fate Dice to give him extra movement. And he's going to charge that Slaughter Fiend that just came out of the woods. As a Corpulent Demon, he's also going to heal 2 damage when he activates. So that 4 damage that he took turns to 2 damage. He's not the best fighter, but he is chunky. 2 hits. Because he only has combat 5 to their combat 6, so he needs 4s. And they'll block both of them. That will end turn 2, going to turn 3, setting up our initiative. Probably one of the worst initiative rolls I've ever had. But I do have a 12 though, so we got to roll off. They're going to go first. So with their activation, I got 3 of them that are in combat. So I randomized which ones we're going to attack. So we've got the northernmost one that's attacking Baku, and the one that's attacking Kirito from the stairs. Start with the one attacking Baku. Yep. Block one of them. Then for the really scary one, the one who's attacking Kirito. He only gets 1 hit. So even if I whiff, I'm not going to die. Oh, and I don't whiff. Excellent. To me, on 12, I'm going to have Kirito attack the Slaughter Fiend in the bushes and focus combat. Combat 9 on a focused attack. Combat 5, however, because my man Homori's got him covered. That's cocked. Now I'm going to use that 1. Wait. Let me math. He's got 9 on him. I don't need to use the 1. Not going to do that. Next up for me, I'm going to bring Emma up to charge the Slaughter Fiend that's attacking Baku. Combat 12. Let's see if I can one-shot another one. I got 12, 11 hits. They have 10 health, so that 1 doesn't matter. Don't need to cancel it. Dead. Nice. I don't have anyone else to activate for a while, so it's going to be a bunch of Slaughter Fiends. Starting with this one. Hitting on 4s. That's quite a few hits you got there. About 8 on the defense because I am still focused. Good roll. Up next, we'll have this easternmost demon charging at Emma. At 6, looking for 4s. That's a fair number of 4s. Alright, I'm going to use the Oculus Spear here to change 3 of these to 6s so that I only take 1. And then that charge is depleted. If I kill a demon instead of getting a soul dice, I can recharge the spear. Our last 2 demons are going to be moving but aren't going to quite make it to anybody. One friend comes down, the other is up behind that northern tree line on the top side of the forest. He had to go around to get to Emma. All of my other activations were below 4. So we're going to go with Shoko next. And he's going to charge that demon on the steps. Combat 9, hitting on 2s, re-rolling. Because of off with their head. 2 6s. So not enough to double my damage, but enough to deal 2 damage immediately. Which will put him at 11 wounds. 1 wound remaining. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not possible for them to survive. Mathematically impossible. Dead demon. I get a soul dice. A 1. We're going to go with Homori the Tentacle Beast next. And he's going to be charging that Slaughter Demon to the far left. Combat 6, +1 for charging. Hitting on 2s. Slaughter Fiend has 5 defense because of Homori's debuff. Makes none of his saves. Then going to activate Okina to pummel the demon in front of him, who is now debuffed thanks to Homori. With a focused attack and Paragon of Slaughter, that takes me to 9 combat, looking for 2s. Defense 5 thanks to Homori. Yeah, I'm going to take that 6 away from him with one of those fate dice that I have that are a 1. Kenshin is going to charge his way into the fight. Combat 8 on the charge. Rerolling up to 3. Don't need to reroll any, they all hit. Even with those 2 hits, that is enough to smoke him. I get a fate die. Baku is going to activate, heal his 2, and then shuffle around just a little bit. That'll do it for turn 3. Moving to turn 4, there are 2 demons remaining that we need to finish off before the end of turn 5. No 12s. Our first demon will be staying put to attack Homori. The second will be moving into Baku. However, this one is already in combat, and since it is closer, it will technically activate first. So let's go ahead and roll his combat. Looking for 4s. Two hits. Block them both. Second Slaughter Fiend into Baku. Combat 4. I'm going to go with Kenshin and charge into this thing, see if I can deal with that first one quickly. Combat 8, looking for 2s. Reroll because I'm a Slaughter Fiend. I'm going to take away one of those 6s, which leaves 7 damage, which is enough to kill it. And I get a soul dice. Emma O, going to make the charge on this remaining demon. Combat 12 on the charge. Nine damage. Shoko, hiding behind the steps right here, is going to use one of the fate dice I have that is a 5 to add that to his movement so that he can charge that last demon. Combat 9 on the charge. Luckily, he has less than 4 health remaining, so you get rerolls. And there's a 6, which will deal 2 damage automatically because of my Thunder Hammer. And at that point, he cannot mathematically survive. Get a soul dice. And that, my friends, is going to do it. That is a victory, a Pyrrhic victory for the Arbitus Infernus. We absolutely crushed my former assistant to the regional manager. Absolutely demolished him and all of his little cronies. So let's do some post-game, see what we end up with. So fun fact, when I was moving everybody over here to do the post-game wrap-up, there's a demon left. He was behind a tree and I didn't see him. I didn't know he was there. So I don't think it would have been any problem whatsoever for me to kill that demon. However, I am not going to give myself a soul dice for it. Anywho, we got everybody stacked up here. For once, nobody died. We did some good work today. So we get 1 roll on the reward table. 11. You guessed it. No reward found. Because I've got a bunch of souls in my ledger that I can burn, and because I don't know what else I can spend them on right now, I'm going to do a rushed expedition. And I'm going to roll 1 dice on a 5 or a 6. I'll get to roll on that rewards table again. Nope. No bonus XP or rewards or anything like that for the mission, just the satisfaction of defeating our old TRM. So, It's okay. I would have liked to be able to get some loot off the guy, but that's okay. Fun scenario. We get a little bit. We get our normal XP. Everybody gets 2. Emma gets her normal bonus 1. Couple people get levels. They both get moves. It's actually both the Slaughter Fiends. Kirito and Okina made it up to a level at 14 XP. They got to 15. They went from 13 to 15. And they both got moved, which is good. One of them was slow, so he's back up to normal speed now. And the other one was already normal speed, and now he's a little bit quicker. So that's nice. And that, my friends, is going to do it for the second mission in the Broken Door, the Rain in Hell solo campaign supplement. Thanks so much for tuning in and hanging out while I killed some demons. Hope you have an absolutely amazing rest of your day.